A sudden sound of coughing breaks the silence. K, k, k. The man bends forward slightly, his hand raised toward his lips, as if trying to suppress the violent spasms in his chest. The air around him feels tense, heavy with concern. Light filters through the window behind him, casting a faint glow that contrasts sharply with the uneasy atmosphere. Something is clearly wrong. His breathing is labored, and the moment feels charged with an unspoken worry. The girl gasps desperately, her face flushed red as water spills from her mouth. Choke water. The sound effect bursts across the frame, emphasizing her distress. Her eyes glisten with tears as she struggles for breath, coughing uncontrollably. A man leans close, his arm gently supporting her trembling shoulders. The panic in her expression is matched by the concern in his eyes. He watches helplessly, trying to steady her as she chokes. Droplets scatter through the air, catching the light, making the moment feel painfully vivid and real. In the next scene, the man's expression shifts. His violet eyes glimmer faintly under the streak of blue light that flashes across the background. His gaze is distant, thoughtful, almost sorrowful, despite the bold red word happy that stands out near the edge of the frame. There's an irony in the image. His face doesn't reflect joy, but rather a quiet melancholy, as if he's trying to convince himself to feel something he cannot. The contrast between the word and his emotion deepens the scene's complexity, leaving the reader to wonder what lies behind his solemn silence. Under the quiet night sky, two men stood on the balcony, the stars faintly glimmering above them. One of them brushed his hair back with a small, relieved smile playing at the corner of his lips. His gaze softened as he thought to himself, "So lucky she's alive." The weight that had pressed on his heart seemed to ease, replaced by gratitude that she had survived whatever tragedy had befallen her. Not far from them, a tender scene unfolded. The man with dark hair knelt down, his arms wrapped protectively around the fragile girl in his embrace. Her long pink hair cascaded over his shoulder as he held her close, as though afraid she might disappear if he let go. The warmth of their reunion filled the air, a mixture of relief, sorrow, and unspoken love, while the others looked on in silence, giving them a moment of peace. Resting her head against his shoulder, the girl's lips curved into a faint, bittersweet smile. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, yet for the first time in what felt like forever, her heart felt light. "Didn't expect that there was one day I feel happy because of his appearance," she thought quietly. In that fleeting embrace, all her fear and loneliness melted away, replaced by the simple, comforting realization that she wasn't alone anymore. The girl's body swayed unsteadily, her vision fading to white as exhaustion overwhelmed her. Her eyes fluttered shut, long lashes trembling briefly before she lost consciousness completely. The soft word fainting echoed across the moment as her fragile form collapsed, signaling the end of her strength. The scene shifted to the entrance of a bright, modern hospital. Warm lights glowed beneath the ceiling, as if welcoming new patients and offering safety and care within its walls. The word hospital appeared boldly, setting the place where her recovery would soon begin. Inside a quiet hospital room, a kind-looking doctor stood beside the girl, now awake and sitting up in her bed. His tone was calm and reassuring as he adjusted his glasses and said, "Your procedure has been completed. You may be discharged." The girl looked relieved, a gentle smile forming on her lips as she realized the worst was over. The sunlight filtering through the window seemed to promise a new beginning. In a quiet examination room bathed in the soft glow of daylight, a doctor stands calmly, holding a clipboard filled with notes. His white coat gleams under the light, giving him an air of professionalism and reassurance. Opposite him, a young woman listens attentively, relief clear in her posture. After receiving the doctor's words, Perhaps good news about her health. She smiles and says warmly, "Thanks, doctor." Gratitude fills the space between them, marking the end of her appointment on a hopeful note. Later that day, the same young woman arrives home. She pushes open the door with a cheerful energy and announces, "I am home." Her voice carries a lightness that suggests both exhaustion and contentment after a long day. Dressed in a white blouse patterned with soft blue stars, she radiates a sense of comfort and normalcy. The fading sunlight filters through the doorway, framing her like a welcoming embrace after a tiring outing. Still standing at the entrance, she bends slightly to take off her shoes. Balancing gracefully on one foot, a small smile plays on her lips as she holds one shoe in her hand and kicks the other off. The shopping bag in her other hand swings lightly, hinting that she may have picked up a few things on her way home. It's a quiet, ordinary moment, but one that perfectly captures the calm and simplicity of returning to one's safe haven after a long day outside. In a bright, cozy living room, a girl with long pink hair walks toward two women sitting comfortably on the sofa. Her expression carries a hint of expectation as she speaks. "Sister, last time I told you my phone was stolen?" she reminds her, her voice soft yet hopeful. "Didn't you promise to buy me a new one? Did you get it?" One of the women on the couch, with a calm demeanor and a faint smile, replies lightly, "Kaka, here you are." The pink-haired girl stands alone now, her luminous violet eyes filled with a mix of regret and helplessness. She looks sincere as she explains. "Recently, I've been a bit busy and didn't have much time to write manuscripts, so I temporarily didn't have enough money to buy it." The background is simple, emphasizing her honesty and the weariness hidden behind her gentle words. An hour later, the scene shifts to Ningji's room. Soft daylight streams through the curtains, painting the room in a calm, blue-tinted glow. Ningji stands quietly by the window, holding her phone and gazing at the screen with a thoughtful expression. The sky outside is clear, and a sense of quiet contemplation fills the air, as if she's lost in her thoughts after what happened earlier. Sitting quietly by her bedside, the girl with pink hair holds a phone in her trembling hands. Her eyes are filled with a mixture of worry and hope as she stares at the screen. The soft light from the window brushes against her face, revealing her anxious expression. "Hope everything will be okay," she whispers in her heart, clinging to a fragile sense of comfort as uncertainty weighs heavily on her. Just as she's lost in thought, the door suddenly swings open. A girl with short brown hair and sharp eyes steps into the room, surprise flashing across her face. "Ha!" Her shocked expression says it all. She's caught sight of the pink-haired girl holding something that clearly doesn't belong to her. The tension thickens instantly, and the pink-haired girl freezes, her grip on the phone tightening as she looks up in alarm. The atmosphere explodes in an instant. The brown-haired girl storms forward, fury blazing in her eyes. She snatches the phone from the pink-haired girl's hand, shouting with venom in her voice, "You dare to steal my phone? You're no different from your mother, you cunning fox!" The words cut deep, leaving the pink-haired girl stunned and speechless. Her heart aches, not just from the accusation, but from the cruel reminder of her mother's past. The room falls into a painful silence, broken only by the echoes of anger and betrayal. The tension in the room was thick. One girl, dressed in a bright red shorts, stood firmly, her posture radiating anger. The other girl, with long pink hair tied neatly and a star-patterned shirt, looked taken aback by the sudden confrontation. Their heated emotions clashed like fire and ice, one's frustration meeting the other's disbelief. The word angry almost seemed to echo through the air, marking the storm that was just beginning to brew between them. The pink-haired girl could no longer hold back her emotions. Sitting on the edge of the bed, her voice trembled with fury and hurt as she pointed accusingly toward the other. "Shut up! Get out! I don't want to talk to you now!" she shouted, her words cutting through the air like a sharp blade. Sunlight poured in from the window behind her, but the warmth of the room had long faded, replaced by the cold tension of betrayal and heartbreak. The girl standing near the door clenched her phone tightly, unsure whether to leave or stay to defend herself. Outside the room, the girl in red shorts seethed with rage, her face twisting with indignation. Her short brown hair framed her fierce expression as she hissed through gritted teeth, You dare to treat me like that? I definitely will not ignore you." The background exploded in streaks of blue and white, mirroring the fire burning inside her heart. What began as a misunderstanding had now turned into a full-blown conflict, one that neither of them seemed ready to end peacefully. Anger swelled inside her chest as she recalled the betrayal. Steal Dad's feelings for me? Even dare to steal my phone and rummage through my secrets, she thought bitterly. The words echoed in her mind, each one sharper than the last. She couldn't believe someone so close would go that far, crossing every line of trust. Her frustration reached its breaking point. With a sharp motion, she slammed the door shut. Bang! The sound slicing through the silence. Close! The word resounded like a declaration of her need to shut out the world, to shut out the pain and the lies that had crept into her life. Now alone, she collapsed onto her bed, one hand covering her eyes as exhaustion and regret washed over her. The dim light of the room softened the tears she refused to let fall. Her once bright spirit felt drained, clouded by disappointment and confusion. She wanted to forget, but her mind wouldn't stop replaying everything. Lying still, she whispered to herself, I shouldn't have pampered Sansen so much before. Maybe now she wouldn't have turned into a person like that. The guilt pressed heavily on her chest. Maybe it was her kindness that had led to this betrayal. And as the night deepened, she wondered if things could ever go back to the way they were.